Hello, welcome back, everybody. It's been a while since we've been doing this thing of bringing you some fresh new content, but I'm excited today because we've got such a big thing happening on the weekend, and it's called the Immigration Summit, and it happens on Saturday, the 19th of October, and you got to be there or be square if you want to know anything about moving to Australia. And to help me talk about this really important topic today, we've got Tara joining us. Hi, Tara. How are you?
Hi, everybody. Good, thanks, and you? Good to be with
Yeah,
you today.
yeah, very good. And please help me introduce you to the audience. I know you well, but it's just so good to see you and knowing that you're going to bring all of this incredible wealth of knowledge to the people and tell us how can we all be a part of that and who is Tara?
Yes, well, I started this journey with deciding to move to Australia about 5 years ago and ultimately got here last year. I'm very excited about that. So yeah, been on this journey and I met you along the way and I've learned a lot. And I think I decided to set up this MovMates Summit because I'm in marketing. I do these kind of virtual platforms for people. And I thought, well, what a great way to share what I've learned and the things that I've developed for myself, really. It's because I'm quite organized. And I thought, how can I actually let others benefit from this as well, rather than just keeping that, for myself? And this is how this came about. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. And so where does Tara come from? What does Tara do?
Okay, so I from Johannesburg, South Africa. Grew up in South Africa, but I've always loved traveling. Lived a little bit in America when I was a kid. A lot of family in the UK. I went to Japan for sport. So I've been to Australia before as well. So I've always enjoyed different places and different cities and different things. And as my kids got older, my oldest son, came to university age and started to say, well, where's his future and what does he want to study? Couldn't get into university in South Africa because he didn't have two languages because he's got dyslexia and ADD and stuff like that. So we were struggling, even though he had excellent maths and science marks. If you don't have the two languages, you can't get into uni. So we decided, well, let's also look at making a move, not only for that reason, but for various family reasons, better lifestyle and so forth, and decided, well, let's make the trip to Australia, naively thinking that was going to take a few months. And anyhow, we landed up getting here. I thought he would finish high school here. We landed up getting here as he started university, actually. So I've come along with my family, my two boys and my husband. And yeah, that's really where we're from. I lived in Cape Town for 2 years as well in this whole process because in Cape Town for a bit. So we did that too. So yes, but now quite settled in Adelaide, South Australia.
Okay, so when did you move to Australia?
November 2023. So a year now, just next 2 weeks' time, it will be a year. Mm-hmm.
And do you feel settled yet, or are you still like between that? How did you say this in English? Between the boom and the bust, between the bark and the tree.
I feel settled, I think. I don't think I've had time to think about it. I said to someone the other day, I just feel like I'm still in South Africa because I got used to working online with COVID. I don't feel different. So I used to work from home. Now I'm working from home. The only difference is I still now do night shifts. So when I'm working, it's nighttime with the South Africans locally. So I think what's nice, I still feel like I'm a bit on a holiday. So the weekends are an adventure to a different spot or a different place. Started to make a few friends and so forth here, with the school communities and whatever. So yes, I think I feel settled. Yeah, some days you still feel quite emotional, like on the weekend. My sister also recently moved here about 2 months ago, and when you go and see your kids just cycling off together into the trees and the forests where there's BMX tracks and lovely activities for them to do, and everything is beautiful and free and amazing, you kind of like, okay, now I know why we did go through all that hard work to get here.
Yes, yeah, and it's been quite a journey for you. So remind me, when did you start thinking about moving to Australia?
It was probably around 2000 when 2020, sorry, 2000. Yeah, that's a very long
It's been
time
a
ago. Maybe
while.
then when I did come in 2000. But I think we had COVID, right? And I saw all my family here in Australia relatively having a bit of a normal life. Yes, they still had Australia still had various restrictions, but nothing like us. They could still walk in the parks, walk to their family, walk with family or friends. We couldn't even go out of our homes. And, you know, my cousins were still having baby showers and doing normal things, whereas we were almost not able to do a thing besides go to the shop and back. And I was like, maybe this is an option. And people got used to working with me online. So I figured, well, actually, you know, work is not defined anymore by where you are. And I started to realize, well, this is a probability. So I went through trying to get a business visa, doing a whole lot of other things, work visas, and ultimately met you along the journey, because it's a lot about education. I think, you know, you need to start to know what this is all about. And, you know, as I said earlier, naively, I thought it would be quick. And ultimately, I've learned, well, actually, this is not a quick journey. But if it's something you set your mind to, it is quite achievable, even if you have to go try this, try that, skill myself here more, learn a bit more this, do that, and, you know, learn what you need to be doing. And ultimately, you will be able to get you, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so what's that? 4 years? No, but you've been here
Four
a year.
years,
So
yes, 4 years.
3 years, because you started in 2020 and you came
Yes.
2023. So 3-year
Yeah.
journey. And wow, okay. Your husband and 2 boys came with you, is that right?
Yes. Yes, and teenagers
Oh,
too,
God.
like different, you know, a lot of people who moved aside
I have to stop you because
when the
we
kids are
missed.
still young. So we brought older to the environment for education and so forth. With my internet connection,
Yes, your internet popped out about the last 10 seconds. So I asked about husband and 2 kids. Could you repeat the answer, please?
I was saying, yes, I came with my husband, my 2 boys who were teenagers, so 19 and 16. So very different than coming with smaller kids, because we were looking at the end of high school, university kind of further education for the kids.
Okay. And what did they say when you said to them, I want to move to Australia? Did they go, "You crazy mum," or "Yes, we're on board"?
They went, my oldest one went, yes, we're on board. Can I bring my dog? Otherwise, I'm not coming.
Ah, good. And you did bring
So
your
we brought
dog.
the dogs,
How many?
3.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's
There's a whole nother story about that, but people can go onto the MovMates portal and watch a whole story about bringing 3 toy Pomeranians to Australia.
yeah, it's not a cheap way to move. Just moving to Australia as one person is expensive. 2 people, 3 people, and dogs, 4 people. Yeah, it's quite the journey and also quite the planning. So tell us, Sarah, what visa did you come on in the end? Because I know there's a bit of a story to the story.
Yes, I eventually got a 491 visa, and that was granted, I think, 6 or 8 weeks, somewhere there, just before I got too old, 45. So I was very fortunate to get my skills visa. But I did think, well, I could always go back to the business visa, because that you can do till 55, and there are other options when you get a bit older. But luckily, I just scraped in on that skills assessment for my marketing qualification, because I'd done a degree. I'd run a business in marketing for 20 years. So all of those things got certified with the Australian Marketing Institute, and that took about 9 months of that process when I decided to sort of try this skills route. And then when I had that, then it all went pretty quickly. Once I submitted, within 2 days, I got an invite from South Australia. So then I had to go, well, where's that? Because I had researched Sydney, I had researched all these other places where I've got family, and never thought about South Australia. But actually, I feel like I landed in a lucky pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, because it's really lovely in South Australia. Very similar to South Africa too.
Yeah, yeah. And tell us a little bit about the weather in Adelaide.
Weather's been interesting. So I got here in the summer. It was beautiful, warm weather. dry weather, so very similar to Cape Town, dry in the summer, and then it just literally rained the whole winter now. So very Cape Town, and now we back into sunny days with a little bit of rain, but I think by next month, that's sort of when we arrived, it's gonna be sunny again. So it's cooler, but yeah, as I say, I came from Cape Town here. I just feel like the seasons are very similar. The plants are very similar. Everything about this place is very similar to sort of Cape Town, the garden route kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm. So now that you've been here for a year, can you tell us what are the things that are different to what you thought it would be like living in Australia?
What is different? You know, I didn't realize how much anxiety I actually had about things in terms of letting my children go riding, or how much anxiety I had myself when I drove on the road. Only when I come to drive on the roads here did I realize I had that anxiety, because I would be driving like looking like someone in my blind spot, is someone, and nobody was. Everybody just obeys the rules. And
Yeah.
you know, you hear these things, people say, oh, it's a nanny state, it's very governed. Yes, it is, and it's great because everything seems to just work because there's rules and people obey the rules, and it's, you know, people don't bend the rules.
Mm.
I think I got quite you know, that was different. I didn't expect it to be so rule-based, and it really is rule-based, but everything is working, and you feel safe, and you feel like, you know, you will let your kids go, and you have power every day. My husband was saying the other day, you know, yeah, do you realize the power hasn't gone off once? I'm like, oh yeah, it hasn't. And
Wow.
just just that anxiety of not thinking. I know there's not so much load shedding anymore in South Africa, and please let it stay that way for everybody there. But that thought of, what can I cook tonight? You can't plan anything. It's sort of, oh, look at the app. Oh, I can't put the chicken in the oven. We're going to have to braai something, or we're going to have to make a salad, or oh, let me see. Oh, I can't wash my hair now because I won't be able to blow dry it.
Yeah.
I mean, living like that it was getting a bit ridiculous, you know. So just not having that happen anymore, it's kind of, oh, is this normal? This now normal. Whereas you know, you kind of, in South Africa we've got resilience, you just go with the flow, but you don't actually realize how that's actually impacting you. So when
Yeah.
all that was gone, it sort of, you feel free, more freedom, more relaxed, more time not to look at the app and worry about this or worry about that, you know. So I think that's what's been quite particularly surprising, that I come to that realization only after I moved here, that I had all of that stress.
And what's been the best thing for you since you've moved here? What do you enjoy the most of living in
I've
Australia?
enjoyed building this MovMates platform out. The strange thing is, I came here and I actually couldn't find work, to be honest. I thought, well, I'm going to come here and I'll get some work. I've been invited for my skills as a marketing professional. I did potentially have some work, but it was all in Sydney. And, you know, being on the 491 visa, it's a regional visa. So you actually have to stay in the city, in the regional state that invited you to come here. So it wasn't really an option for me to even consider moving to
Mm.
Sydney, where all the high tech marketing sort of jobs are, and people are wanting you to sort of go there. So I think the great thing was I didn't just sit here doing nothing and think, woe is me. I actually started learning things in terms of marketing and optimizing different ways of doing marketing with AI. And that's a lot more advanced in
Mm.
Australia than it was in South Africa. People are only starting to think about that maybe a little bit in terms of marketing automation and things in South Africa, whereas here that's a lot more advanced. So I managed to upskill, to learn more things. And I think in my time when my kids were at school, I still work my South African work, which was great, because that's been take the weight off not having to earn Australian income immediately, and having
Yeah.
that base of supportive clients and people that still support, you know, my business in South Africa. So I think from that perspective, that's what's been great, is that I've been able to learn and have time to learn more new skills
Yes.
that are more in demand here in Australia as well.
Okay. And what's been the hardest thing for you living in Australia? And then the next question, moving to Australia, like immigrating versus living. What's been the two hardest things for you?
Yes, I think people don't realize when you move countries. It's not like moving neighborhoods where you live. Like you think, okay, I'm going to move from here to here. People, I think I had a bit of that mentality, and I guess a lot of people do too. Okay, I'm just going to move my stuff from A to B. It doesn't work exactly like that when you're immigrating. There's so many more factors. So the hard thing was that leaving family behind, like I had to leave my 90-year-old grandparents. I think it helped that my family were supportive in the journey. They wanted us to come. Whereas I think a lot of people struggle with that, leaving family. They don't want to leave their family, but their family are not supportive of them going, and that makes it even worse. So
Yeah.
I think for people who have family that are going, it's best to be supportive. It's not the end of the world.
Mm.
That you're just moving to the other end of the world, but there's Zoom, there's technology, there's the digital age is very different. I mean, I was talking to my uncle the other day. He moved to Sydney 20 years ago. He actually is Australian. There's a long family story I tell on some of my other talks, but um he came here 20 years ago, and when he immigrated here, there was none of that, and he felt very alone. You know, I haven't had to feel alone because we can still connect with our family and our friends via Zoom and via
Yeah.
Teams. So the difficult thing was actually that whole process of the logistics.
Mm.
So when you get your visa, you think, I've got a visa, but you don't realize the whole next process is just about to hit you. All that paperwork doesn't end. And I mean, I think the other day I said to my husband, wow, it's been a month. I haven't had to fill out a form. So, that's all the
Wow.
paperwork. It really does get you.
Yes, that's very true. It's a very big process. And as you rightly mentioned a bit earlier on, it's all about education. And as soon as you're educated, I think you realize, well, it is this big process that I didn't think it was going to be. And then through the education, you will also learn that you'll need to be patient and you'll need to persevere and you'll need to sometimes pick yourself up off the ground because you've fallen down. And it's just part of the journey. But then getting to the end line is such a sweet, sweet place to arrive to. And then that's when you start taking
Yeah.
off all the baggage that you used to carry that you didn't know that you were carrying. As you said, I'm talking about mental and emotional baggage and that kind of stress. And it's interesting
Yeah.
because what we've noticed, Sarah, is whenever we go back to South Africa for a holiday to visit, we notice that the people there seem a lot more stressed, as you say, like they're edgy. So they're very fast to get
Yeah.
upset, very quick to flick the switch on. And there's a good reason for that. It's because you have all of those other pressures around you all the time. It's just normal when you're there. You don't think any different of it. But now, having lived here for 20 years, in my case, and I go back every so often, I can see how that's different. And then I can see how people who have moved here then start going, wow, it feels like weight has lifted off my shoulders. I'm just feeling so much more free and relaxed. And so, yes, we need to help people who want to make the move to come to Australia to be as informed as they can be. And that is why you have put the MovMates channel up, the portal up, which then also is the
Yep.
host of the Immigration Summit. Now, tell us a little bit more about the Immigration Summit and who can we expect to see on it?
Well, this exciting thing is, you know, when I was going through this journey, I met wonderful people. But it was only through a lot of research and a lot of trying to find the right people along the journey. So what I did initially was actually approach all of those wonderful people and said, come together as a MovMates community, yourself, Robin, who helps people with their migration journeys from a logistics point of view, people like Kings International helping people with moving things, the pet relocation people, even to the point of people in Australia, that things that you need to do when you get here, help you get a tax file number, help you register a business, help you do all these things. And I've put all those people in one safe space for everybody to talk to the right people without having to go and do that research themselves. So it's going to save people time. It's going to save people worry, because also if you're just posting like on these Facebook groups, you don't know who's answering you. You don't know if they're credible. You don't know if they're reliable. And there's a lot of scammers out there, unfortunately. You know, I tell a story about when I got to Adelaide, some poor guy had met someone on Facebook that was posing to be a relocation agent like Robin, and said, well, I'll get you a house, blah, blah. When they got here, they went for a little inspection. He said, oh, but I don't have the key. But yeah, pay the deposit and you'll fetch the key at my office. They pay the deposit or fetch a key tomorrow. They go to the house the next day. The owner said, I'm not renting my house. This is my house. They've just taken the people into someone's random garden and sold them, took their
Wow.
money. So, you know, at least coming into the MovMates
Yeah.
portal, that the people represented there are genuine businesses with genuine interests of immigrants at heart, and people that I know cared about me and cared about my family.
Mm.
So, and a few others. So people in there are only referred by each other, that know each other, that deliver good service to people like myself and all the other people that are moving to Australia. So instead of people trying to bumble around, trying to find this all out on their own, we've created this space where everybody can come. And the summit is going to be an opportunity for everybody that's part of MovMates. There's over 500 at the moment, but everybody who wants to join, we're charging a little ticket fee for the sponsors to come, like yourself, who are going to be presenting, and the experts, to open up advice to people. I mean, they would normally be paying a fortune to speak to 5 or 6 or 10 immigration experts at one, if you went one. But here people have the opportunity to come in on one morning and ask any question they like, and the experts are there in real time to answer their burning questions.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
that's the reason behind the live day, because all this information is in the portal. People can get to that for free. But I think the value of the summit is come in and actually, you know, where the experts are there and are available to answer specific to those particular questions of the people that are going to attend on Saturday.
Yes, thank you. That is very important because, again, education, education, education. The more you learn, the better your journey will be. The faster your journey will be, the easier it will be, the cheaper it will be. There's just pros and zero cons for you to come and inform yourself. So, Tara, how can people get to the Immigration Summit?
Well, they can, 2 ways. They can register on movematesaustralia.com.au to become part of MovMates. That's free. You can join the free community. And in there, they can click on a button to say, buy a ticket for the Immigration Summit. Or I'm sure below this video or something, we'll put a link to the ticket page with the agenda, so you can come and see which experts are going to be talking when. You don't have to attend the full 6 hours. So if you're still in the beginning phase and you only want to know about visas, just attend the track 1. If you're in the part where you now have or in a wait period while you're waiting for that visa grant, like I waited 9 months, and there was so much more I could have done in that 9-month process. So in that 9 months, there's other people, that's track 2. And then the longer term settling in options, like how could you maybe buy a house? How can you get a home loan? Education options for your children. I mean, these are also things you might want to consider before you come, because at the end of the day, you want to settle, right? You want to buy a house. So it's valuable for everybody to listen to everything,
Hmm.
but different people have specific needs at specific times for
Yes.
different tracks. So that's why
Yeah.
there's also the 3 different tracks to listen to or to join, and it will be on demand. So if people can't watch at that specific time, they can also come and catch our recordings.
Okay, thank you for that. The important part, I think, is also to mention that we will be talking about recruitment, and I know that
Oh, yes.
that's a very hot topic often, and people want to know, where can I get a job? So if you come to the summit, there are recruitment experts who will be talking to you about that as well. Now, my company
Yep.
is called Quackaroo, and we do immigration, but visas, recruitment, and we do translations. And so we will be there to tell you more about what it is that you can do to get a job in Australia. How can you get a visa that allows you to work in Australia? And everything else that's around it. As Sarah said, there is so much in this journey of moving. So come and hop onto the MovMates website, grab your ticket, and then Tara and I will be there and several of the other experts who can, I want to say, hold your hand and just lead you into this educational journey. Then if you can't watch it live, you can always go and watch the recording. So get onto it now. And then we look forward to seeing you on Saturday. And Tara, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us your story and your background about this really exciting opportunity where people can come and essentially help determine their future and make the best of moving to Australia.
And one more thing, I must just say thanks to you, because you really inspired me along this journey, and as you have done with hundreds of people, to be honest. So, know what you've done makes a difference. And I'm very happy to help also let other people know about you and the work you've done and the work you do. And yes, if it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't be sitting here, because I found you on a time when I was quite despondent after trying for 2 years, fiddling around, and eventually we formed that Migration Made Easy program group that you did, that one-on-one, a bit of coaching with a smaller group of people. And, those people are now my friends, and we're all together, 12 families in that particular cohort that you had. We're just waiting for one. She's got her visa grant, and she's on the summit, I think, but she's going to be making her way, hopefully pretty soon. And then we will have to have a whole MovMates Migration Made Easy talk with these 12, team of 12 of us. I think that would be awesome. But no, thanks to you, and thanks to all the hard work that you've also done in this space over these 20 years.
It's
So
my
yeah, we look
pleasure.
forward to having you on the summit on Saturday.
Okay, everybody, there you have it. Be there or be square. We'll see you on the MovMates portal. See you Saturday. And any questions, just leave us a
Cheers all.
comment below. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.